Let's get this out of the way. No, you are not the first person to think, hey, what if we solved food scarcity by just eating people? Yeah, congratulations. You're now in the same brain club as 1,000 post-apocalyptic screenwriters and one guy at every vegan Thanksgiving who takes things way too far. But here's the twist. What if it's not just a creepy thought experiment? What if someone, somewhere with a white lab coat and a fancy degree, suggested that legal cannibalism could be a viable protein source? First off, let's talk logistics. Humans are, in fact, made of meat. Surprise! We've got protein, fat, and, for those who go to the gym, a decent marbling. So why not put Homo sapiens on the menu? Here's where it gets chewy. Nutritionally speaking, yes, human meat contains protein, roughly the same as pork or beef. If you're into calorie counts, an average adult male might give you 125,000 calories, according to grim archaeological estimates. That's about 50 Big Macs. But that's where the party ends, because eating human flesh isn't just a culinary choice, it's a microbiological nightmare. Ever heard of kuru? It's a prion disease like mad cow, but for people who dine on their neighbors. You don't walk it off. There's no cure, and it's a strong contender for the worst buffet souvenir ever. Kuru was famously observed among the 4 people of Papua New Guinea, who practiced ritualistic cannibalism to honor their deceased loved ones. Heartwarming, right? Until people started developing uncontrollable tremors, muscle spasms, outbursts of laughter that turned into crying, and eventually losing the ability to speak, move, or swallow. It's a brain-melting horror show, quite literally. The prions responsible for kuru aren't alive, but they fold your brain proteins like laundry done by a sleep-deprived gremlin. You can't cook them out, you can't disinfect them. They don't care about your hand sanitizer or your kombucha cleanse. Once they're in, it's game over. So while a human steak might sound edgy and avant-garde, the potential side effects read like a haunted house script written by a neurologist. Then there's the tiny hiccup of ethics, which we'll sum up as, no, Karen, you can't put Dave from accounting in your air fryer just because he didn't refill the coffee. Human rights are kind of a thing. Legal cannibalism would mean rewriting an entire body of law that generally assumes people should not be harvested like garden vegetables. It's not just about letting someone sign a donor dinner card. It would require fundamentally redefining personhood, autonomy, and bodily integrity. And while governments can do weird things, turning citizens into charcuterie boards might be a step too far, even for the most bureaucratically adventurous among us. Plus, the environmental argument for human meat? Weak. Even if you got consent, which, let's face it, is going to be an HR nightmare, growing a human takes 18 years. Cows are inefficient, but at least they don't require a college fund and a Netflix password before becoming steak. The carbon footprint of raising people for food is astronomical. You'd get more protein, faster, and with fewer awkward conversations by investing in beans, or tofu, or literally any plant. But wait, there's more! Let's say we bypass all that. The ethics, the pathogens, the fact that Aunt Linda is now a menu item. Even then, the logistics of a legal cannibalism system would implode faster than a reality show romance. Who qualifies to be eaten? How do you ensure safety and traceability? Do you have free-range humans versus factory-farmed ones? Are influencers considered organic? No, just no. The reality is, while it makes for a great horror story or a disturbing sci-fi plot twist, human meat is not a scalable, sustainable, or sane solution to the world's food problems. There are already better protein sources, insect farming, lab-grown meat, vertical agriculture, that don't involve throwing your dentist on the grill. So why do people still talk about this? Because cannibalism is the shock value clickbait of sustainability debates. It gets attention, it makes people uncomfortable, and it sparks conversation, which is great, as long as it doesn't end in a dinner invitation that ends with, and then we eat Todd. Here's the helpful takeaway. If you want to save the planet, start by cutting food waste, switching to more plant-based meals, and supporting sustainable farming. You don't need to become a monster to make a difference. Just maybe skip the idea of eating each other. And if you're still thinking, but what if I volunteer to be food? Congratulations, you've just made Thanksgiving even weirder. If this video made you laugh, gasp, or suddenly question the contents of your freezer, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment about the wildest food myth you've ever heard. Who knows? Maybe next time we'll investigate whether plants scream when you bite them. Welcome to the Debunkers, where no myth is safe and no sandwich is sacred. Until next time.